So we're talking about tracking today, and we're talking about capturing information from some spore. And we're going to look in a second at a particular type of spore, being a human spore. And we're going to look at how we document a boot print laid actually 24 hours ago to help you understand what information is useful and what's not. Alright, so let me have a quick reorientation of this camera so you can see the actual ground, and then we'll talk through what parts we're covering and why. So here on the ground is the print we're actually going to sketch. Now this is 24 hours old at least, it's had rain across it, but we're still going to get a fair bit of detail in terms of measurable information off the print that can be useful in a search and rescue capacity or for any other tracking interest per se. So the first things we want to work out, and you need to be aware, there's two separate individuals stepped in almost in the same spot here. This one is underlaid and overlaid by this one, sorry. So you've got to focus on the print detail relative to the print that you're actually interested in. Now in a real situation we'd probably sketch both of these, but as a way of doing it as an example today, we're just going to sketch the one. That's going to be the one that overlaid the previous print. So the information we're concerned about are the widths of the forefoot, which is this area here, the width of the heel, which is this area here, the overall length of the heel, the overall length of the forefoot, and the overall length of the print itself. That information is far more effective and far more reliable from an evidential point of view than saying it's a size 7 boot or a size 7/8, because there's such a lot of variation between size 7 UK, size 7 US, size 7 European, male, female sizes, very much a case of brand specific. It's not useful from an evidential perspective. Millimeters or inches, if that's your poison, are the way to go. Alright, that's what we capture, that's what we send back. So let's look at the overall length first. So we're going to judge exactly where that print terminates, and I've got an overall length here of 29 millimeters, which we'll document. So it's 29 centimeters, so 290 millimeters. Then let's look at the forefoot. We've got 140 millimeters there. The width across the front of the forefoot, the widest part of the forefoot is what we're going for, 95 millimeters. Let's notate those two figures on our diagram. The heel block itself looks to be about 75 millimeters and 75 millimeters wide and 100 meters deep. Alright, so let's capture that information. So on our sketch, we end up with that basic information documented. The general shape depicted, which is why we use pencils and why we use an eraser. The general proportions. This bridge area here is fine to document, and a lot of the time you pick up some small detail like sizing itself can be evident in there. If you look closely, you've got a fresh enough print and a good enough capture on the substrate. The forefoot information, length and width, heel, length and width, and the overall length I'll just notate in there shortly. On that piece of paper we put in the location, the date, time, group of this sketch, and who did it as well. Now all the other detail about the particular tread that we can still determine from this particular sketch, we can include in the diagram as we're working through it. And it's going to increase our knowledge base as we step through the process of following this individual further down the road. We'll continue to build this type of pattern up and so forth. So he's got a unique tread pattern that we will get better visibility of as we go, which will help us identify that particular individual as a unique person and the one that we are targeting. So there you go, that's the basics, and I'm talking basics of capturing evidence in a useful form that is transmissible to someone else, that we can pass on information about a particular print or particular spore that we have come across. If you're doing this from a naturalist point of view, which I do a lot of, it's about documenting for your own journal purposes detail about a particular animal that you want to capture, or want to learn about, or want to take back home later and research further. Both skill sets remain excellent. Both are interchangeable, and you need to get out of your head that a human being is something different to an animal. Its behaviours, particularly from a tracking point of view, are very predictable, just like all other animals are, and we do things for a certain reason. We leave sign, no one levitates, there's always something there. And what we're doing in tracking is capturing that information, making it useful, and getting into sort of understanding who, what, why, when, and how it was there. Alright, so get out there again and do some dirt time, have a look, practice your sketching skills, document as thoroughly as you can on every occasion. You'll learn by simply putting pen to paper and being drawn into that track as you're producing a sketch on the paper. Have fun, we'll see you next time.